Alright, this is CEW here, and ooh boy, talk about a missed opportunity of a live reaction, because man, what a crazy death battle this was. Yuji versus Denji. And before I go into spoilers, because again, this has been at least 2 full days since the death battle came out, and trust me, if you've been on Twitter or like online sources, high chances on you already got spoiled. But oh man, talk about an crazy episode. And before I get into spoilers, man, my thoughts on it before the blind thing, man, this was up there with like Megamind versus Gru, and this was a better concept of it. And actually putting how close, not only how close this fight was, but it was much better in execution in both animation as well as execution. You can definitely tell the love and passion and the creativity in it, as we will see later on. I will, and as you saw with the thumbnail on the spoilers, but one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10. Alright, spoilers are now free. I am actually excited Denji won. I prefer the character, I respect Yuji, but man, this was actually a close tie. And I'm actually shocked that, once again, it actually came down to stats of raw power and speed that overcame. I was actually shocked about that because most of the stuff came down to like most of the death battles previously been coming down to like speed their abilities rather than their raw power and stats. And I thought this was the clear thing with Gojo versus Makima, but even that can be questioned. But thankfully that should still have the same results. But for Yuji versus Danji, yeah, this played a big factor, and like especially for the internet, uh yeah, a lot of memes of like of like mix of hype and rage across the internet, especially having the FU Baltimore meme with, well, I consider a meme with like Oregon and all, but let's just get into it. And as for the music itself, it was pretty good, much better than anticipated. So let's just get into the episode before anything else happens.
Say your prayers!
Yuji versus Denji.
The Vessel of Sukuna versus the Chainsaw Man.
He's Wiz and I'm...
And I'm hoping that you can hear me this time, because the last previous episode I did, I updated OBS and all, try to explain, but the mic, so for some reason, tracking all is muted, so if something happens, I'll just type in
Boomsticks.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
But yeah, this
If
episode,
Yuji Itadori was one...
as the announcer says, it was very smart of them going all out with Yuji, especially doing that sequel series only in Japan module, and as well as doing the
thing, he was strong. As his grandfather lay dying, he made Yuji promise to help others and not to die alone.
I promise you.
Say that at the start, very good start with the intro and all.
Yuji would keep by joining Jujutsu High, a school for up-and-coming sorcerers training to rid the world of curses.
Essentially monsters manifested by humanity's fears, hatreds, and anxieties.
Just one problem for Yuji. Unlike everybody else, he didn't have a magical curse technique. Oh no, he had something way worse.
After consuming a cursed finger, like a literal finger, Yuji became possessed by its original owner, the King of Curses, Ryomen Sukuna, the most powerful sorcerer in history.
And Yuji's willpower was the only thing holding Sukuna back from controlling his body, killing everything in sight, and taking over the world.
So Yuji got to know his surly new roommate, and perhaps one day he would show him a kinder, gentler path.
A classic shonen hero's journey if I've ever heard one. Yuji would track down and nosh on the rest of Sukuna's cursed fingers before they caused any more trouble.
Fulfilling his late grandfather's wish to use his strength in service of others, surrounded by friends.
Helps that he's getting a first-rate education from the strongest sorcerer alive today, Gojo.
Gojo would teach Yuji to harness
So right off the bat, like they went all out with Yuji when it comes to abilities and all, as you see with his trump cards and all. And I'm kind of surprised, especially later on, how effective this came to be because
And
like especially with all the predictions and everyone talking like the everyone thought like his trump cards would actually play a major factor into this.
manipulate the absolutely absurd amount of cursed energy he inherited from Sukuna.
Cursed energy is basically like evil ki, and Yuji can use it to see invisible curses and enhance his already superhuman strength and martial arts skills he learned from his gramps, making him a monster in close quarters combat.
Yuji knows Taido, a Japanese martial art derived from Okinawan karate. It focuses on agility and flexibility with the inclusion of spins, twists, tumbles, drops, rolls, and fleet footwork.
Which he combines with jujutsu techniques like Divergent Fist. Yuji strikes an enemy so fast that his cursed energy takes a second to catch up, hitting his opponent twice and messing up their rhythm.
By perfecting that timing and applying cursed energy within 1 microsecond of a hit, Yuji can achieve the Black Flash, increasing the power of his hit by a factor of 2.5, a feat that would require reaction speeds nearly 1,000 times faster than sound.
It's basically impossible to do at will. You're so in the zone when you pull it off that it fully restores your cursed energy and boosts your output to 120%.
Yuji's Black Flashes are so strong in particular, the author himself stated that 5 in a row would have been enough to instantly kill the special grade curse Jogo.
Who did this? And this? And this?
How many has Yuji ever done in a row, you ask? 7.
And that's not even the nastiest thing about Yuji's punches.
Because another soul resides in his body, Yuji learned how to target the soul itself, doing damage to opponents who could normally.
Yeah, that part is like the main reason why a lot of people thought Yuji would ideally win, including myself. I actually was mixed about it because like it's very hard to do, but I'll explain my
regenerate from his hits.
Yeah, this pink-haired brat was a jujutsu prodigy, perfect for Gojo's dream. You see, it's lonely at the top, and Gojo wanted to train a crop of pupils powerful enough to share the burden of reforming Jujutsu society.
Until one fateful battle when Gojo was sealed away and Sukuna took over Yuji's body. Then proceeded to, well, commit that whole mass murder thing he was always going on about.
Yeah, turns out Sukuna is evil. Like, really, really, totally, completely, irredeemably evil.
And it also turns out that every twist and turn in Yuji's life was orchestrated by the body-hopping sorcerer Kenjaku in order to resurrect Sukuna and bring about the curse apocalypse.
In Yuji's eyes, something he was completely responsible for. And so, having failed his grandfather, Yuji's outlook shifted.
No longer would he fight to protect others, but to kill curses.
And after Sukuna hopped bodies into Yuji's best pal Megami, the king of curses became numero uno on Yuji's shit list.
Yuji's defeated powerful disaster curses like Hanami and Mahito, survived being slammed so hard he cratered the earth, and is comparable to sorcerers like Maki, who tanked getting rammed through entire mountain ranges.
Yuji also learned how to use super advanced abilities like reverse curse technique to heal himself from crazy damage, like getting his torso shredded into chili. Ugh.
And in some other sorcerers' cases, even regrowing lost limbs.
Though it takes a lot of energy to regenerate blood, so after going on a cursed object feeding frenzy, he learned how to
replanting his energy like
manipulate his own blood to speed up his healing, or fire it like a blood beam. A poisonous blood beam.
All of that combined made Yuji just tough enough to finally take on the King of Curses, although greatly weakened after his victory against Gojo.
RIP. Literally.
Sukuna was still the de facto strongest being alive, but after hitting him with a Black Flash, Yuji actually copied Sukuna's main ability.
Gojo's plan all along.
This was Prime. With it, Yuji can slice apart any surface he touches, an enemy's flesh, the ground beneath him, even the boundary between two souls in one body. Enough hits can even cause those two souls to separate.
Like a souped-up version of his normal punches.
Even better, Yuji finally gained access to the most powerful weapon in any sorcerer's arsenal, a domain expansion.
Basically, a pocket dimension created by the sorcerer where their ability will hit no matter what. No contact needed. If you're trapped in Yuji's domain, you're getting sliced to ribbons.
With all his power and training and righteous fury, Yuji severed Sukuna's soul from Megami's body, freeing his friend from the demon's clutches. But not before offering Sukuna one last chance at redemption.
Which he rejected before dying because, well, evil, leaving Yuji to grow into one of the most fearsome sorcerers in history.
Turns out the cursed objects that Yuji consumed made him part cursed and slowed his aging to a crawl, giving him decades of training and battle experience.
He's mastered blood manipulation, can pull off black flashes
Yes, by the time of Mondo, the feats like creating an earthquake
at
or a
will
hurricane-
and shredded entire cities apart with Shrine. Just like Gojo and Sukuna before him, he became the strongest.
But what actually makes
Another reason why I said, even though that both have suffered criticism of their ending, is how Death Battle I'll give credit to, especially for Chainsaw Man part. I will explain later on, is how it was a fitting end for the characters themselves.
someone truly strong? For Sukuna, it was the power to stand alone atop all others. But to Yuji, it was the opposite.
The only reason he had survived as long as he had was because of the mercy and sacrifice of his friends.
The feats and all are pretty good too. The withstanding the creating and dismantling dust explosion, and then feats of his healing speed.
So Yuji brought together friends and allies, new and old, to create a world eventually free from curses entirely, fulfilling not just Gojo's wish, but his grandfather's as well.
Because if Yuji Itadori was one thing, he was strong.
Surprisingly, no commercial for here too, but
Wiz,
it's
if
really
there are
good.
two truths
And
in
again, huge
this
spoilers
world,
for the
two
entire
universal
thing.
constants, it's these. Life sucks and then you die.
Especially for the young boy, Denji.
Who was so poor and unlucky, he doesn't even
Yep. Yeah, I kind of shock about the cannibal part, but it does make sense. Like, it gets crazy. Nice Asha themes and such. Cool.
know his last name.
With an alcoholic father forever indebted to the Yakuza, and a diet consisting of whatever garbage he could get his hands on, all Denji had in this world was his dog, Pochita.
Who happened to have a chainsaw sticking out of his face, really putting the tear in terrier.
Pochita wasn't an actual dog, obviously. He was a devil. Monstrous superpowered beings literally from hell that are created by and represent humanity's worst fears. In Pochita's case, literally the personification of chainsaws.
Oh, he's so cute. Who would be afraid of chainsaws? They're the most versatile tool in the world. Perfect for chopping trees, opening cans, massacring your foes.
Apparently, Pochita had no problem with that last part as he and Denji hunted down and killed his devil brethren.
It's a tough job, but when selling your testicles won't pay off your dad's debts, it'll do.
That is, until Denji was cornered and...
I watched it the last time my theater closed down in January, but like the last movie I saw was the Reset movie with my brothers, and like I read part 1 of Morgan, gotta read part 2, but like part 1 was so good.
Forced to learn about those two universal constants. Life sucks, and then
Especially
you
the
die.
beginning part.
But sometimes, if you're really unlucky, there's a third option.
Born from his and Pochita's contract, a literal deal with the devil, Pochita would become one with Denji's body in exchange for Denji to live a happy life.
And so the two fused into a half-human, half-devil hybrid, the Chainsaw Man, aka a one-man, blood-soaked devil-slaying machine, the perfect candidate for the public safety devil hunters, led by this piece of work. With nothing controlling him but his raging teenage hormones, Denji would battle all of devil kind in the hopes of one day getting laid.
And he was a natural
kinda
at
seemed that,
killing, not getting laid.
seemed like he-
As the Chainsaw Man, Denji can slice through just about anything and generate new chainsaws from any surface of his body.
Or swing him around on massively long chains. Oh man, that's so cool.
It helps that Denji is
Bakugo as well, but like the abilities and all simple, but man, so effective. And that's kind of crazy. Like Denji had it like more simpler abilities and arsenal, and that was enough to defeat.
incredibly powerful, capable of lifting and throwing cars, surviving being blasted through several buildings, and moving way faster than the eye can see.
And if he happens to get torn apart by some ornery devil, no biggie, because he can regenerate from just about anything.
Denji has survived being sliced to pieces, having his head torn off, being dipped in demonic stomach acid for hours, and even getting his heart ripped out.
Haven't we all?
Yes. Oh, I didn't see that part. Devils regenerate should make them resistant to poison. Oh, the violently constantly exposed to poison guy. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Small details like that actually mattered, and I'm guessing I did not see that, so I was actually confused why the blood poison stuff didn't matter. But yeah, that actually was a big factor in the fact why his blood piercing for Yuji didn't work on Denji and all.
Chainsaw Man didn't regenerate his heart. Oh no, his heart regenerated a Chainsaw Man.
Even separating Denji and Pochita won't stop them. When Denji was stuck in this alternate dimension, he and Pochita still possessed a metaphysical connection.
With their stomachs.
While his healing factor can be overtaxed, all he needs to do is drink some blood and he's back to full health.
And considering that chainsawing devils apart is basically an infinite blood exploit, he almost never runs out, only limited by the violence-induced psychotic frenzy he enters in combat.
Well, he's not actually crazy. Denji might be, okay, definitely is an under-socialized moron led by his dick, but he's surprisingly clever in combat.
Almost always thinking outside the box and coming up with so dumb they're brilliant strategies to take on devils that should be too strong for him.
In short, Denji was the perfect soldier and was rewarded for his efforts with something that began to resemble a happy life. Aki, the stern older brother, Power, the bratty younger sister, and Makima, his boss and the girl of his dreams.
All Denji had to do to finally score with that dead-eyed redhead was to kill the most fearsome devils in existence, like the Typhoon Devil who created a massive hurricane, or the Bomb Devil who could blow up most of a city, or the Gun Devil who could travel around the world and kill over 1 million people in about 5 minutes.
But, plot twist, he had to kill Makima too, because she was secretly the Control Devil, one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Everything she told Denji was a lie. The happy life he created, the family he made, all of it was designed to be torn down.
All with one goal: to force Denji to break his contract with Pochita and become her servant. Order 66ing every devil she didn't like. But when Denji did break,
And yes, they have been separated for periods and did not want to rejoin.
Pochita took over.
Now, Pochi might look cute and cuddly, but the Chainsaw Devil is one of the strongest and scariest dudes in the universe, capable of tearing through.
Pucha Naomi Kenobi, I can't pronounce her name, but found her at fast food, and like everyone's lives were at stake.
Hordes of devil hybrids like nothing.
More than enough to give Denji his opening to beat Makima by cutting her up into sashimi and eating her whole. A very similar solution to the Chainsaw Devil's most powerful ability.
Anything Pochita eats gets deleted from existence. Yeah, like it never happened in the first place. World War II? Gone. AIDS? Nada. Nuclear frickin' bombs? A light tasty afternoon snack, thank you very much. Forgive me, chainsaws. I knew not your power.
He also ate the Death Devil. Yes, Denji ate death, which means no one on Earth could die.
Oh, you think that's messed up? Let's talk about his next romance, Asa.
A sweet, shy, awkward girl, perhaps Denji's one true love, except for the fact that she shares a body with Makima's.
Like I said, part 2 was a slow build, but it had promise. But like I said, that ending really sucked. Like, it just like bus drop. It was getting better, anticipated and all. Like, Denji was powering up and ready to face all 4 of the apocalypse, and then bam, it ends like that, unblocked.
Sister, Yoru, the War Devil.
Who herself is in love with the greatest warmonger of them all, the United States of America!
And Yoru was determined to use her love of the USA to drown the world in a ceaseless hurricane of blood.
Denji, buddy, you ever considered maybe switching to guys or something? Because every single woman you meet has tried to kill you.
It was in Denji's climactic battle.
So yeah, the feats were actually kind of play a big part in this. Here's the big one, the meme that started. Like, I kind of consider it a meme considering it started, but like survive a sword strike containing the mass of Oregon, and then his impressive streak. All of them are wounded, by the way. That's actually impressive. And then Spear traveling the Earth and regenerative traveling. So, like I said, Chainsaw Man was crazy.
Battle with the War
And,
Devil that his and Pochita's bond finally matured.
The best way is like anime's or Japan's version of Evil Dead. Like, it was very creative and all, and like had a heart of its own.
Giving Denji full control of the Chainsaw Devil's power. A kind of Denji Man, I guess.
Which he used to kick the War Devil's ass. And she was no joke, strong enough to shoot Pochita from across.
And again, this is like, here comes the big one, like the Statue of Liberty. Like, most of the party was destroyed by a gunshot. He was completely low on blood and couldn't regenerate. In the rematch, yes, he was strong enough to block
The globe with a near light speed 2-ton bullet from the goddamn Statue of Liberty. Better yet, Yoru was so powerful she turned Oregon into a sword. Yes, the state of Oregon. Crumple the entire landmass into a blade, fly it over to Japan, and swing it at Denji. And he matched its power.
Yes, and as explained in here, a lot of people were calling BS on it because, like, they didn't consider it actually real. And remember, this is, when I researched and all, this was actually the lowest, if you saw my prediction blog, the lowest streak. As the biggest one was the Full Devil that was able to change gravity on a planetary level. And again, that black hole mass from Jujutsu Kaisen is debatable, as it only did the city, made a black hole to do the city, not like murder drones of sin devouring the planet. And as you see here, this is proven with when she was trapped in the aquarium and made a sword of it, and actually having the mass she had ownership of. So basically, anything she purchased and all, or like made a contract with, she technically owned, and she owned Origin and all.
She also threw the American flag at him.
The
one on the moon.
With her arms.
You know, the moon in space. In seconds. And he dodged it.
With the whole world literally falling apart, Pochita realized that becoming Chainsaw Man made Denji's dream for a normal life impossible.
Something Denji was always too stubborn and selfish to realize until it was too late.
So Pochita did what any good dog would do. Eat himself and erase the Chainsaw Devil from existence, creating a new world without him and leaving Denji just Denji.
But maybe all this time, Denji was enough. Being Chainsaw Man could not save his loved ones, but being Denji could.
Because sure, life sucks and then yeah, you'll die. But while you're stuck in between, chasing your dreams with your buds can help make life worth living.
I am glad that Liam Swamp enjoyed this and actually did a good writing of this summary. But I did love Chainsaw Man. I probably need to buy the mangas in it for like part 1 and all. I'll maybe get part 2, but like, man, the main problem that everyone, especially me, have it is, like I stated, like how brunt, how a car crash, it suddenly stopped and appeared out of nowhere. The best comparison I would say is like, I totally understand what Neon Evangelion went through with like them stopping, like the creator got so sick of the fan base he actually just killed the series, made it ending, and just decided to like complete it 30 years later with all the movies and spin-offs and all. And like, yeah, this one is like if Ichigo suddenly got done with beating Brinjao Uehara and then about to face Aizen, but all of a sudden, like, before he got to him, it blocked the ends and all. Like, that's the problem with Chainsaw Man, especially it doesn't help with the "it's all a dream" thing, like, that trope and all. That did not help at all and really killed it. I do hope, though, what also stinks, though, is that the final volume did confirm there's no, like, extras in it, because apparently the Japanese manga just came out, their version of it, and it basically confirmed no covers or, like, sneak peek and all. And it just really sucks. I do hope the author did get a reasoning one day with it, or hopefully that he brings it back, but because this series was really good, despite the controversial blood and gore and all, and like its themes, but it's like, if I get to the episode itself, it did a great summary of the whole point of Chainsaw Man, especially his, like, going from especially the good point, big critique of this thing that is good is that it summarized both Yuji and Denji as characters from A to B to C of the whole series and all, and how they developed. Oh, sorry about the chair. I'll probably improve that in the future, but like how they improved themselves as characters. But let's just get to the fight. And I'm just skipping the thing because most likely they sold out, but they basically confirmed that they brought back pitches. Still, stinks that it's like $300 for one. Maybe I'll do one if I have money.
Death battle.
But like, I'll go back. But like, I definitely have some pitches.
All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a death battle!
So basically, how before I did the prediction and all, like how the best summary I would have is that, again, this is probably similar to Iron Fist versus Wolverine, which is a very decent and nice comparison. Like both have the raw talent to like fight and all with the skills and all, and Iron Fist ideally is without a doubt more skillful as well as having like multiple advantages of his abilities and all. But the problem is like it's Wolverine. Like all he needs to do is close range and like you're dead and all. And he has him keeping up with the X-Men and all, especially with the higher ups like Cyclops and like Storm and all. Like prove that he can be a menace in the field. But like I said, even without that, like this was a great fight. My heart, when I watched it live, my heart would think, oh, this. Also, if you pause,
it's time for a death battle.
Like Liam knew what's the best reference. The animators did good too. All right, please. There you go. Yeah, it's the reference of Liam found dead and all. But like, this is good. He knew this episode was going to be controversial, and it was a good episode.
Oh man! Oh no!
I think
you're fine. You're fine. This wasn't my fault.
I've never felt such weird cursed energy like his before.
Say your prayers!
You're a chainsaw curse?
Oh no! I'm the hero doll! Kicker of asses! Magnet to chicks! Half man, half devil! Chainsaw man! Let's finish this! Chainsaw instant death technique!
I like this,
Batter up, pink-haired punk-ass bitch!
Another thing I'll give credit to this is like how very accurate it was with like the styles of like especially the like showing off how it is.
Wait for it. I realized you had two cursed energy sources in one body, so I separated them. Speaking of...
Yeah. That was a good shot as well. Like, I really love that one.
Domain expansion.
And the fight was complete and like very energetic. Very creative. A lot of criticism with the thing, but like the battles and all.
You messed up, baby!
I like
Poseidon are our brothers! You'll never keep us apart!
This is really got intense and like the fight on the showdown.
Domain expansion.
This was funny. That was like the best part.
Finally got you to stop moving! See? We can be smart too, huh?
Punk ass bitch.
At least, this was like up the ending
A
too,
human
but
and a curse.
I like how people
Brothers.
reference, like, he got the Gojo treatment.
You don't see that every day.
Yeah. It does make me question if Gojo, like, if Makima vs. Gojo didn't happen 2 years ago, if there would be a change of the verdict and all, especially with Makima now officially being stronger, especially with scaling to her sisters and all. But, like, I think a matchup like that will probably be the same because, like, Gojo's, like, broken infinity and, like, domain expansion abilities should not change. But this one seems
All right, Pochita. I wonder if that burger place is still open.
And I agree with the first. A lot of people
KO!
were
If
about
Yuji
it,
Itadori
but,
was
like,
one
it
thing, he was strong. Just not strong enough today.
Yeah.
Let's break this down into 4 chapters: their speed, skill, abilities,
I was still shocked how the raw power and like the stats actually played the biggest factor in here. I thought it would be their ability
and power.
First
But
off,
a lot of
who
people
was
pointed out,
faster?
Yuji's
especially
greatest
Team
speed feat
One,
is the
Team One did a
Black
good job at
Flash.
analyzing.
In order to
They did overall went with Denji because of how close it was.
apply cursed energy within
like,
1
the stats,
microsecond of a strike,
got
Yuji would have to
everything.
move and react at over 900 times the speed of sound.
Insanely fast. But
And yeah, the EMA way that I mentioned sadly is an outlier because apparently in the sequel to Jujutsu Kaisen, apparently they confirmed one of the main villains apparently confirmed that they didn't get the main lore of it is that Jujutsu Kaisen has reached speed yet, unlike Chainsaw Man.
remember that time Denji dodged that flag that Yoru summoned from the moon? You know, the one that's over 200,000 miles away?
Considering Denji's position
Yeah.
from start to impact, all while in the midst of a fast-paced battle, this must have happened in a matter of seconds.
We'll lowball it and say 10. Though it'd probably have to be faster to use against Denji in a fight.
This means the flag must have been moving over 12% the speed of light.
Over 100 times faster than the Black Flash.
Now, Yuji has gotten significantly stronger since
But yeah, I'll spread you. Scale did not even cocktails, and since it was technique and not
adolescence,
natural
but we
speed. Yeah.
know for a fact that in Jujutsu Kaisen, relativistic speeds are something humanity has explicitly not yet achieved.
So it's pretty clear that
Remember,
Denji takes
Jujutsu
speed.
Kaisen is
However,
old.
Yuji has made a career out of going up against enemies far out of his league by relying on his skill.
And what a career it's been! He defeated the King of Curses all before he was even an adult, and he continued to train and master his jujutsu techniques for decades.
Whereas Denji, while certainly a clever, unorthodox fighter, would often get by due to his sheer stubbornness and durability more than anything else.
With Yuji's greater experience and martial arts combined, he was definitely the more skilled fighter.
What wasn't as clear-cut was who had the better abilities.
Specifically, how well they can cut each other and how well they can heal from being cut. So I guess it's their cut ability.
Both could survive pretty insane wounds, though Denji's devil healing factor was superior.
The most Yuji has ever healed were some big slashes against his stomach.
And while other similarly powerful sorcerers like Gojo could regenerate lost limbs, Denji could regenerate almost all of his body from a single cord
And Denji
pull.
can survive
That
fatal
being said,
wounds.
Yuji's soul
So yes, Denji's poison resistance and regeneration counters using poisonous blood. A death-rating poison has been cured. Oh, that's right, it has been cured. I forgot about that. And would have little issue drinking his blood.
targeting attacks have done lasting damage against those with superior
Okay, that's
healing like
actually a good
Mahito.
point.
Not just that, but literally splitting two souls apart. That's how he beat Sukuna, and he could potentially do the same thing to break apart Denji and Pochita.
However, it's not so simple. Sukuna was already severely weakened at the time, and it took Yuji several hits to separate him and Megami.
And on top of that, even if Denji and Pochita were split up, we know they keep a metaphysical connection when apart. In fact, they were split up when they were fighting Makima, and they had no problem rejoining. No reason they couldn't do it again here.
However, Denji's healing factor isn't unlimited. He'll need blood to heal eventually, and the range and speed of Yuji's slashes would force Denji to tank them to get up close.
Even if he could, Yuji
But again, because of Yuji, I think had Yuji had the speed advantage, I think that would have been a win. Because again, surprisingly, having the raw power and speed were the two deciding factors of this fight, of who can get the killing blow first. And Denji, more times than not, has the raw power and speed to get what he gets. To heal faster and get the blow.
His healing factor wouldn't last nearly as long against Denji's chainsaws. But then Yuji could back off, Denji chase him, and so on.
Like an unstoppable force meeting an immovable object, neither had a clear edge in cut ability.
So what it ultimately came down to was power. Who could do the most damage and wear the other guy down first?
Yuji slicing apart an entire city is one of the most impressive feats in all of Jujutsu Kaisen. By measuring the clouds of dust created in his attack's wake, we can estimate he launched over 5.5 million tons of debris into the air. That kind of force is equivalent to over 3 megatons of TNT, comparable to a hydrogen bomb.
But unfortunately for Yuji, while he could cut apart a city, Denji was Oregon level.
The state of Oregon is the 9th largest in the Union by...
Yes, could feel greater fields of Denji, however, that would be dozens of times weaker. So yes, even in high scale, low scale, Chainsaw Man basically has bigger and more, I would say, country to like planetary level.
Total area, nearly 100,000 square miles. By estimating its volume, Yoru compressed a mass weighing over 750 trillion tons. One swing from that sword would hit with an energy of over 30,000 megatons of TNT.
Which is like 10,000 hydrogen bombs. And not only did Denji survive a swing, he straight up overpowered it. That's insanely strong,
But again, as you see from the right, it really didn't matter. As like, as again, it would be like also, even if the organ was excluded, there was also the Statue of Liberty shot that shot from New York all the way to Tokyo at light speed, as well as like the falling devil affecting gravity towards the whole planet. Like, there was a lot of factors.
not inconsistent. Like the time Yoru fired that globe-spanning near-light-speed bullet from the Statue of Liberty.
See? So that supports it.
Sure, Yuji's citywide dismantle was done casually.
Yes, could have access, however, there's a narrow range and rely on his energy output. And again, Pucha surviving that re-entry, like, countering
But
both
so is
abilities.
Yoru crumpling Oregon. Yuji's dismantles would need to be 1,000,000% stronger to do significant damage to Denji.
Especially with Denji's OP healing factor too.
Denji takes the final edge in power. All Denji needed was one good hit to finish the fight. And with his far greater speed, it was only a matter of time.
What can I say, Yuji? Denji's just got that dog in him.
The winner is Denji, the Chainsaw Man.
Next time on Death Battle.
This one I was shocked about. I thought it was going to be another anime fight, but this is. I thought it was quite good. But this is
Subscribe.
So I'm interested about that. I'll probably make the episode shorter, as it's not like one of my hype ones. I prefer, but overall, this was a good fight. It was a good episode. Like, a great episode. Definitely worth the top 5, if not the top 3 of the year so far. Because, like, say what you want about the outcome, it definitely was much better reasoning and, like, and the better research and all, unlike Gru Vs Megamind. This one actually was spot on with, like, better pacing, better animation especially, thank God for that. But also, better characters, better designs and all for it, and like it was better than everything. I still did not like Gru Vs Megamind, but this definitely was a big roundup in terms of animation and time and effort put into it, and especially for this, like, being probably, I would say probably the most controversial fight, because like a lot of hype for Denji versus Yuji, and like, man, internet is back and forth. But overall, thank you so much for watching this episode. I hope that this actually, like, you hear the audio of it. If not, I'll actually try to put it in the comment and all. But thank you all for watching. I hope see you next time, as I will do Wesker versus Kazuya. But see you again. Stay awesome.